Industry Institute initiative is one of the key focus areas of ProMFG Media, wherein we enable connection and engagement of the two key stakeholders of the manufacturing sector. This partnership can immensely help in upskilling of the young engineers entering the sector. It also enables research and builds solutions for industry-specific problem statements that have the potential to challenge the current status quo and promote a culture of excellence. Today, we have two such gentlemen with us who are an example of how industry and institute can build profitable and scalable solutions. On behalf of ProMFG Media, I welcome Mr. Prakash Lohia, the Managing Director of Merino Group, and Dr. Sachin Mandavgane, Head of Chemical Technology at Vishveshwaraya National Institute of Technology. Welcome, sirs, and thank you for joining us today. First of all, congratulations on creating an example of how businesses can be built with a circular economy at the core. Can you share a little bit of insights on this, as well as how it is scalable and profitable?
It's, when anything appears very simple, you should know that you have hit the bullseye. Now, if you look at circular economy, right, you might not have seen that, but my generation, in our home, my grandmother, when she will cook, if there is a vegetable, समझ लिए लौकी है, from skin to seeds, everything will be used. Nothing is wasted. So, this wasteful economy is creating all confusion. If we look at anything, any process, right? You have raw material, you make them undergo certain processes, and you find out some products, some of them you call them your main product or the product you offer. Some of the products they come out, you do not know their use, you call them waste. If you know the use, they are not waste. And knowing the use, right? What you require from the one side, the analytical, the properties of those products. So the science of that. And then what you have to understand is the technology to convert that into some useful product or for some useful use. I share with you on a very interesting sloka, our ancient wisdom. Aksharam amantram nasti. There is not a single letter which is not potentially a mantra. Nasti moolam anaushadham. There is no root of any plant which does not have a medicinal property. Purusha ayogya nasti. There is not a single human being who does not have any quality. So what is the problem? Tatra yojaka durlabam. The rare are the attitude, aptitude, brain to utilize them. So I think this is the core of circular economy to me, right? So this is what the easiest way I could share with you.
Dr. Sachin, you have developed a potent solution for the stubble burning problem specifically. Can you share your take on how you created this solution, which is, having sustainability at the core?
As far as this very specific issue of stubble burning, we know last couple of years, this has become a national issue, typically in NCR, New Delhi, and the capital is under smog during October, November and December. And not only national, it has become an international issue as well. It has brought shame to the nation. And somewhere in 2019 May, Lohia sir and me had a discussion on this topic, that can we come up with some kind of solution which is very exclusive for stubble. Let me tell you about stubble or a rice straw. Rice straw is a very a kind of a notorious biomass. It doesn't degrade easily. If you just keep it as it is, you'll find that it doesn't decompose, it doesn't spoil. Probably that's the reason in the hutments also, if you go to places which are rice bowl, on the hutments, on the roof also, these paddy straws are laid? Reason is they do not decompose. So what we try to do is we try to come up with a decomposer which can decompose material like paddy straw. So what is material like paddy straw? Paddy straw has very less nitrogen. Bamboo dust, wheat straw, right? All these materials are having, and the place from where I belong to, Nagpur, this is a cotton belt. We have a problem of cotton stack. So all these materials have carbon to nitrogen ratio more than 50, and the decomposer that we have come up can decompose such a difficult to digest material, that too in a very short time of 3 weeks.
Mr. Lohia, another question for you. What is the benefit of industry, academia, collaborations, and what are the challenges that come out with this particular association? Benefits as well as challenges, if you can, share some light on that.
Actually, if you look at it, industry and academia, right, their togetherness is essential, because every industry require the understanding of all the material the industry is using, the basic understanding, right, the basic science behind it. If you look at it, academia is more towards the science and finding out potential use of those material through the scientific understanding. So they go up to lab scale, and it is the industry where that application is taken forward from pilot to the full scale. So they are actually essential. Now what happens if there is a big industry? They may have their own R&D, big setups. See, now, one thing we all know, that the application is more in the field of innovativeness than creativity. What is the difference? Innovativeness is main ingredient is cross-functional application of knowledge. I know something in chemistry, I can apply it in physics. I know something in nano. How this nano you can see is used. In an academia, there is a perfect atmosphere where multidisciplinary experts are there, right? How many industry can have their own setup of multidisciplinary R&D? So my own way of looking at it is, it is essential. It is unfortunate, right, that the way the academia and the industry should work together, it is not happening. It is something like our, I sometimes I am a very traditional man, try to explain the things through my traditional understanding. Academia are the Brahmins, industry are the Baniyas, right? Both have their own egos. So they are unable to come together. But if you look at it, okay, it not coming together is something surprising. And this I have experienced it from the very beginning, and I was very fortunate, as I said, that though part of an industry, but a blue-collared person. So I understand the value, right, of the I call it like this is a connection between the top floor and the shop floor, right? So, and this bridge is very important for any success, but it is not happening. I have taken so much of time in my lifetime, right? I have come across very few. Sachin is among one of them, who can vibe with the industrial requirements. More such people we have more such academic institutions we have.
One major issue which mostly a lot of people share is the time issue with academia, that they are into too many things. So probably that is one of the management of time, and now with a lot of focus coming on this particular aspect, probably we'll see a change.
Yeah, I agree with you. See, what happens is the focus. If the focus is, see, time is a derivative, means the essence is focus. So now the focus is changing, and we will see lot of, and then there is for example, between me and Sachin, There is a continuous exchange. I get the fresh thoughts of the scientists from him, and I share my hackneyed old ideas of management, and he gets enriched by that. So it is natural. You are correct.
Coming to you, Dr. Sachin.
Yeah.
What are your expectations? You have had a good experience with, with Mr. Lohia. How do you think, research in institute should be done, and businesses can actually enable from this research? I know that you conduct your PhD programs in a very different manner. You are inclined towards ensuring startup culture in your, programs. So if you could throw some light on that aspect, and, how do you feel how industry should collaborate?
I will take forward what Lohia sir was talking about. And two things I would like to tell. One very specific between me and Lohia sir. Both of us understand each other's language because both of us are chemical engineers. But most importantly, both of us understand each other's thinking. That is most important because we are from the same school of belief. We both have conviction and belief in the message of Swami Vivekananda. And that has connected us very thickly. Now, as far as the general answer is concerned, I would like to tell you that as an academician thinks that this is the point where my work is completed, whereas the industry wishes that this is the point from where I want to begin. The difference between this thinking and wish, there is a no man land where the academician doesn't want to cross that limit, nor the industry comes here. So we want some wishful thinking where the proper amalgamation of two things. One is the language, because as sir said, academician or the academic institutes, the main mandate is generation of knowledge. The time is not that important factor, right? And on the other side, the need and the economy. We need to find out a gap which can bridge these two things. And that has been very successfully done in case of VNIT and Marino Innovation Center, which is a part of this collaboration. And on a personal note, I am enriching myself with the discipline of management, being more organized. So that is something that I am learning. Related to the students, as you asked me, I have my PhD program where I insist each of my PhD student to have his or her own startup, so that they are not working only for the sake of a degree. They are not working only for the sake of publication of patent. They are in fact investing their 3 years or 4 years of life in VNIT for building their career. And that has made a lot of change among the mindset of the students. And for that, a very strong backing, knowledge-based backing. And see, another issue I would like to put before you is that we have a limitation of working only up to a lab scale. We have state-of-the-art lab, we have analytical instrument, we have everything. As sir said, we have collaboration, we have different department on campus, we have network also. But there is something called Lab Plus. For example, if I am working on say 200 milligram of material or half a kg of material, I need to conduct the same experiment in the environment of the industry, industry's environment, maybe on 100 kg or 200 kg. Then it will go to pilot. That is possible here in this particular example of VNIT Marino. What we are doing is, once we have completed close to 30% of work, proof of concept is built, initial experimental work is done, we simultaneously starting our work maybe on a Lab Plus on VNIT campus, on Marino campus. And Lohia sir, since he himself is a chemical engineer, he takes the things forward. We are anyway working with the students in the laboratory, and then when this overlap takes place, there is a lot of give and take, because we are now knowing that what is the need of the end user, And because of that, we then tailor our experiments. And that has brought a success of this decomposer in a very short time of almost in a year. We started somewhere in the May of 2019. On 15th August 2020, this 2020, we were all finished with the technology development. Now what we are doing is the commercial scale trials.
Thank you to both of you for joining for this special interview. Thank you.